good morning to you. My name is Peninah Wachera and welcome to yet another episode of the Younib Breakfast Show. How are you guys doing? You know, I saw something today and somebody just reminded me of how important mental health is. So are you guys looking at your friends or rather, are you guys asking your friends whether they are really okay? I know everybody on a daily will always say, you know, I'm okay. Hata ukimuuliza kwa simu, atakuwa tu okay. Hakunanga ile siku yenye mtu hakuangi okay. But if you're a friend or if you're somebody who is close to your friends, your family, sometimes it's good to ask somebody what is really disturbing them, because many people are committing suicide because of lack of people to talk to, or even them seeing that they have issues that they cannot handle. So please, let's check up on our friends, on our family, so that tusipate tunaweza wasaidia na sasa we cannot help somebody when they are dead, sorry to say. So let's check up on our friends. Anyway, sijakuja na seriousness hapa. We are having another episode which is interesting. Najua mkisikianga mambo na education mnaanza kujiuliza, sasa huyu anatupeleka wapi? But today we are trying to understand education system. Tumekuwa na so many people saying that CBC should be scrapped, that we should remain with 844 system. These are the things we'll be tackling. Na pia, kama wewe ulikuwa 844 system, I would like to know what are the things that are memorable for you kama 844 system. Punishments, ama ni walimu wakiwachapa, ama ni kuvaa monto. You know, we actually wore montos in our ages. But anyway, nimeongea sana. And as you can see, I am not alone in studio. So I just want to make our guest ama kuambia guest wetu leo aji introduce ndo ajue tujue ni nani na amekuja kufanya nini, si ndio? So karibu sana kwenye Younib Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming also. Please kindly tell us who you are.
All right. I go by the name Miss Domitiler Orori. I'm a teacher by profession. I just completed a campus recently, so I'm not that old in the profession, quite young. Let me say, if I can sum it up, I have like 2-year experience, like classroom teaching and learning. Any other important thing about myself? Let me say, at first I wasn't that passionate about education, but something changed my mind. Something triggered me to see it in a different way, to see a different light on what education is all about and how you can really impact life. Yeah, so that is the much I can say about myself.
Okay, thank you so much. I want umeguzilia sana about you were not passionate about teaching. Unajua, when we were young, people were saying, oh, when I grow up I want to become a teacher. That was primary ukiwa mdogo, and then ukifika class 4 unaona hey, maisha ni ngumu. No, I don't want to be a teacher. Unapata mwingine atasema pilot, mwingine ataenda hata, but at the end of the day mkimaliza campus unasikia mwingine anataka tu kuwa farmer because of how school imemhit. So what did you want to be when you were young?
My passion, or really where my heart was, is I wanted to become a doctor, specifically a pediatrician. I love children and I wanted to work in an environment full of children. I also loved science, so medicine is what was in my mind. And yeah, something changed along the way, and I believe as we're talking, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. Yes.
Maybe pia I was to become an anesthetic. From that time, hata sijaijua vile nafaa kuipronounce, but something of that sort. The one that mwenye during surgery anadunga shindano, uyo. That is what I wanted to become, but you know, life has its own turn. So how did you get the interest of becoming a teacher?
So at first, since I was good in science, and I also loved mathematics, so my combination now, from what I've said, is mathematics and chemistry. So when medicine didn't quite work out because of you know, the points and all that, I didn't really get the exact points I was supposed to get in biology, so I was seeking alternatives, and the first alternative that came to my mind was accounting. So it just happened, I would say miraculously, as I was applying for accounting. A fellow teacher who was in the cyber, I knew nothing about her. I had not seen her before. I think I just met her once, but we kind of crossed paths. And she was like, okay, so I can see you're applying. You're going to campus? Yeah. And I was like, yeah. So what are you going to do? I was like, I want to be an accountant. She was like, oh, okay. And out of the blue, she was like, have you tried teaching? And I was like, no way. I don't want to be a teacher. And she asked me one question. Why? The only reason I had in mind was because people don't like becoming teachers. It's a profession that people don't want, so I also don't want it. And she was like, see things in a different way. It's not about the people. It's about you. It's about your future. This is the advice I would give you. You can choose to take it or maybe to just go ahead with your accounting. You love mathematics, you said. So do math and pick any other subject. Go to campus, pursue it, then later on you'll have a foundation. You can teach in a school, and later you can think about advancing to accounting or anything math related. But after you have a good foundation, it will also give you a chance to like get more knowledge about the subject and all that, so it will give you an upper hand. So I was like, okay, come to think of it, I really don't have a legit reason as to why I don't want to be a teacher. Maybe I didn't like the system. So I was like, okay, fine, let me give it a try. So when I went to campus, I fell in love with the subjects because I love sciences and all that.
Yeah.
Then upon getting to third year, I came across a different system, the international system of learning. At first, I thought if I was to be a teacher, I will just have to teach 844. And I didn't really like how 844 was enforced because it was more of knowledge-based. The knowledge was enriching, but it lacked room for people who were not quite good. You know, they were not book smart, but they were smart in other areas. Personally, I was outgoing, so I didn't love the fact that I was constrained to do one thing, you know, pass my exams alone. So in that year, once I came to realize that we have different systems like IGCSE, IB, which in full is International Baccalaureate, there is BTEC, so much. I came to understand that education is so wide. So I was like, okay, fine, I've never really ventured into it. I have not learned in that system. Why not try it out? So, and that is where my journey began. I applied, I went through a short course, and it was in partnership with the Brabant group of schools, and I loved it. That is what made me love education. And by good chance and help of a very good coordinator and person who's really helped me in this journey, I was able to do my teaching practice in an international school, and got an internship there and got more like experience for about 2 years, roughly 2 years, yeah. And I loved how they enforced the curriculum. I loved how we interacted with the kids. It was more about loving what you're doing, and that I saw things in a different light. Yeah.
Wow. If you're watching, I think you can see the ile passion anaitwa nayo, like she really loves teaching. So kama ulikuwa unatafuta ama if you're searching for a career and maybe umeenda to meet with a stranger, it's good to give a listening ear. Juu kama yeye hangesikiza, now she could not have gotten the passion. Sometimes you can live without knowing your passion until somebody else akuja tu akwambia, by the way, try this. And then when you try it, you see enyewe it worked for me, and I see that is really what worked for you. Okay, so sai nataka tuende tu kiasi tu about education. You know, most people, they see like education is not important, and sometimes because of the 844 system, which we'll come back to, wanasemanga that the 844 inafanya people to be like, it's for book smart people, not for the people who are talented everywhere. So what is your take? Is education a must, or is education important?
Education is very important. It opens your eyes to the opportunities that the society gives, because the society itself is cultured in such a way that it uses education to absorb people to work for it or to make things work. So if somebody was to ask me, is it really important to go to school? I would say yes, it's important, because you get some form of enlightenment. You get to reason out in a different way. Education is also not about books. It's about interacting with other students. So you get the social skills on how to live with other people. And like if you're at home, you won't get that chance. But if you're in school, you have different personalities. We have this kid in class who is naughty. We have this kid who is smart and focused. We have this kid who is just in a different, you just don't understand who they are. But if you interact with all of them, you get to know what the society offers. You know, it's diversity. You say education enhances diversity, where different people from different cultural backgrounds, from different ethnicities come together and they have to live together. So that is one purpose of education. You get social skills. And about enlightenment, it sharpens your reasoning. You get to reason in a smart way. You get to get critical skills, creative thinking. You get to know how to go about different issues. That is why even the exams, apart from the knowledge-based questions, we have application questions. They want to see how do you reason out, how would you solve this situation. So it gives you the ability to be a critical thinker. You know, so education is really, really important. And even though you want to do other things in life, like maybe open a business and all that, if you have those skills, you're going to prosper more.
Yeah.
And if you just don't go to school and open maybe a business, you're going to get the money, but you need other things like how to work with a team, how to be a good administrator. You know, you're given leadership opportunities in schools.
Yeah.
You know, so education is more than books. It has so much it has to offer. Yes.
Awesome. You've stated something that I remember, application questions. And you know, in CRE, if you did the 844, kulikuwa na CRE question. And I remember seeing a meme that was going online. As a Christian, what will you do? There's a bunch of, is it bunch of money? Manze, English sometimes. And if you get chenga. But anyway, there's pesa, the group of money, what do we call it?
We can say just use money.
Okay.
Use money.
So there's money, like it's notes. What?
Notes, yeah. Yeah, you can use that as well.
Yeah, so you get like 100 shillings note, no, 1,000. There were 1,000 shilling notes. Then you measure like it's like 100,000.
You can say bundi la pesa.
Bundi.
Let me say Swahili, yeah, bundi.
Bundi la pesa. Ilikuwa imejificha mahali kwa nyasi.
Yeah.
Imewekwa hapo. Alafu unauliza, you see people asking, as a Christian, what should I do? Guess what somebody said?
Yes.
Become a Muslim. You become a Muslim. So guys, kumbuke, there were these application questions. Nasai, are you applying them? And she has really said that it is important, by the way. Vile tunadhaningi education is not important. You know, somehow, even though we went through a school curriculum that was not for everyone, there's something that everyone got out with. You cannot say that I wasted all my years in school. And that is one thing that is important for all of you to understand. So looking at things, when Magoha, the former, I don't know whether to call him former CS, ama nimuite tu bado, yeah.
Still the acting CS.
Okay, the acting CS right now. Alileta CBC to the system. And there's a lot of people saying that CBC should be scrapped and everything. And then we have the 844 system. Kwanza, before I ask about your take on CBC and 844, I would like to know, do you think that 844 system is good for the students, ama for the children?
844 was good in its own way. Let me say it had more cons than pros. Yeah, the pros were it was enriching. You exposed to a lot of knowledge, which is very useful. Some of the knowledge we apply outside here, you know, and the curriculum wasn't entirely bad. The only limitation that stood out in 844 is that it assumed that all students are the same. Well, let me say it's still the curriculum is still there, so it assumes that all students are the same, all students are abled the same. Well, in the real sense, students are abled differently. Yeah. You know, and there was this situation where some students, like I remember during my time, some students really found it hard to cooperate with others in class, especially in this, let me put it in quotes, tough subjects. Mathematics and sciences, chemistry, physics, biology. Those who are seen as, monsters. If you can crack them, then you're smart, you're a genius. And let me just break by saying this. I wasn't entirely good in mathematics all through my high school, but I loved the subject. But at some point it felt as though I wasn't seen, simply because I wasn't good at some point. I was not seen. The genius ones, the ones who were getting A's all the time, were the ones who were seen. At some point I wanted to participate in mathematics contests and all that, but how do they pick the names? Those who get the A's.
Yeah.
So I really didn't have a say in something that I really felt I can be good at. I didn't get the support. That is what 844 does to some students. If you're not good in something, or you can't really do something good, really good, then you're not seen. The light is not on you.
Yeah, true.
It's on the smart ones. So some really feel discouraged and they hate education because of that. But if 844 was broad, if I'm not book smart, this can accommodate me. I can still be in the light. So that is what 844 is lacking. Yeah, it's not a bad system, but it has some strong limitations that really discourage our students, and they have a negative attitude towards education, of which it's something that can be avoided if only it's modified. So I would say CBC is a pretty good modification of 844. It's come in good light, only that when you come to talking about CBC, we'll talk about some of the ways maybe the government didn't really introduce it in a proper way, but it's a really good idea.
Let's just dive into CBC right now. So what is your take on CBC, and what do you think that now the government can do when it comes to CBC to enhance now the education system to a better place?
CBC, I like it when I see my small brother and sister being given projects, and they're like, Dad, help me do this. Or maybe they're like, we were given this work to do, and the church said the parents should help us build. And I see the way my brother comes up with creative ideas. At this age, he's like, I want to become an engineer. I want to become an architect. You see him fixing stuff. At some point, the remote that we use at home was spoiled, and he just took it. I don't know how he figured out the problem, but he fixed it. You see, so it gives them the opportunity to think
out of the box. Yeah.
It gives them the opportunity to discover what they thought, so this was here, and it gives them that passion at an early age. As early as now, being in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, if they're able to identify that, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Sigmund Freud is one of the contributors in education. And in one of his theories, he stated that at the age of 7 to 9, this is a perfect age to instill knowledge or skills into a child, because they learn fast.
Yeah.
The mind picks up so fast. So CBC is taking advantage of that, which is really good. And the only thing that the government maybe should improve on is creating the awareness about the system. They really brought it in a rush, and they didn't create awareness, especially to the parents.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to imagine this kid who is being raised by a grandma, because we come from different backgrounds, and they go home and tell the grandmother, we were told to do this and this. The grandma only knows for you to go to school you need a pen and a book, nothing more. So they really don't know, why are we spending so much money to buy other stuff? Is it really important? So the government should create more awareness to the parents, because the complaints are it's expensive.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be an expensive curriculum. The only problem is, let us understand why it is expensive. Let us understand why do we need to use the money for this. So the government should do better in creating awareness and promote more training for teachers, especially the ones who are coming out of campus. Let them know, because CBC is gradually taking over. Right now we have grade 6, the first lot to join junior secondary. So they should help train more teachers, especially targeting those who are coming out of campus.
So guys, as we think about what she just said right now, I want us to go for a short commercial break. But remember, you can send in your views when it comes to the system of CBC and the 844 system. Which is the system that you will prefer more? And getting also the light that we have been enlightened right now, what do you think? Do you prefer the CBC or the 844 system? continue commenting on our social media platform, that is Younib_TV on Instagram, Younib Media TV on Facebook. And if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, unangoja nini? Like, please just use this break to rush there and subscribe. And also tell a friend, you know, this is how we grow together. But for now, let's go for this short commercial break, and we'll be back with more on the topic of the day.
The best. Hallelujah. Ever the best. Hallelujah. Ever the best. Hallelujah.
If you're just joining us here at the Younib Breakfast Show, this is the Younib Breakfast Show here at Younib TV. Remember, you can be able to advertise with us. Pia unaweza sponsor our channel ama our show, the Younib Breakfast Show here at Younib TV. So feel free to engage with us, and there's a number on your screen that is 0719 144 144. You can contact us and we'll get back to you with our rates so that you can be able to at least take your business to another level. So before the break, we were talking about the education system. Na tumeona CBC, the difference between CBC and the 844, and somehow all of them had pros and cons, or all of them have pros and cons. And I asked you guys before the break to tell us what are your thoughts when it comes to the CBC and the 844 system. So let's continue the conversation. So you told us that you are a teacher doing the international curriculum.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between the British curriculum and the CBC?
Okay, the British curriculum is a well-established curriculum, considering that it is taken in very many schools, not only in Kenya but worldwide. So it's a global system, you know, and it's widespread. For example, if I have a kid studying in year 7 here in Kenya, and maybe they need to relocate and go to another country, they can easily go to a different country, get a school offering the British curriculum and continue with the next class, because the content taught is the same, the way of delivery is standard, almost all the schools. So they would really not have a hard time trying to maybe move in from one school to another, a different country to another. So it's fast spread. So CBC is only applicable in Kenya. So it's just something that has just begun in Kenya. In terms of delivery of the content, in terms of the teaching in classrooms, they have some similarities, whereby they both encouraged development of different skills, and different students are given different tasks to accomplish, which helps the teacher to see what the kid is good at, or maybe what they can accomplish well, and they're able to see where this student needs help and all that. Also, the system of assessment has changed. It has moved from marks and positions, where I know first in the class, or maybe the last in the class. It has gone to good, needs improvement, something. The rubrics have changed. And that is something similar to IGCSE, where we look at what the kid needs to improve at, to give elaborate reports on what needs to be done and what the kid has accomplished. So that is a very key similarity between the two curriculums. The other major, it's not really a major difference, because CBC is heading there. The British curriculum is fully accredited, because we have inspections and all that to see whether schools are of standard and all that. So it's something that is an established kind of curriculum. But I believe with time, CBC is also going to catch up with that, if all goes well, and maybe the country embraces it in good spirit.
That is very interesting. So I just want us to now to change from CBC 844, and let me ask about, what is your take on homeschooling?
Homeschooling, well, that is another dimension of international system of learning. There's some kids who prefer to learn from home, due to different reasons. Others find it hard to, maybe due to different conditions and all that, maybe their parents prefer to have them taught at home. Maybe they find that the kid is learning at his or her own pace, and they prefer them to, like, the kid to be taken at that particular pace, no hurry, no pressure. So they hire private tutors to come help the kid, and it's well embraced in the international system of learning, because at the end of the day, the kid will still be allowed to sit for exams with the other students, as long as they register on time in a school that is fully registered and all that. So homeschooling is a different way of accommodating kids who are a bit comfortable learning on their own due to different reasons. So
if you would be a parent, would you consider homeschooling your child?
Homeschooling my child, let me say it will depend with the kid that I will get. Maybe I might find it necessary to, but if I wouldn't really have any reason to have the kid homeschooled, I would prefer the kid to learn with other students in school, because we have so many advantages when it comes to the kid going to school. They have sports, they have music, they have different challenges that they face with other kids, because you find that at a particular age, they value friendship. And if a friend is taken away from them, they feel so bad. I would want my kid to know how to navigate through that. I would want to see how would you challenge yourself out of that situation. So I would love to see the social skills growing. I would love them to be part of a team, maybe be part of a band in music, maybe art, draw with other students, or maybe participate in sports, be active in the field and all that. I would want to see them having something extra to do. I would love them to come home and complain to me and tell me, Mom, this happened, Mom, this kid did this, and I would love to hear, so what did you do? I would love to have such conversations with them. So I would totally go for taking my kid to school, because there's so much that comes with them learning with others.
If you're at home and you're still watching us, definitely you're watching us, because where else should you be? In the morning, you just tune into the Younib TV and watch the Younib Breakfast Show. So what are your thoughts when it comes to homeschooling? You know, there's a friend of mine, tumekuwa tukiongea na yeye, ananiambia, you know what, mimi, I will have to homeschool my kid. She has her own reasons. So what are your reasons? Do you think that you can homeschool your children? Alma, what is your thought when it comes to homeschooling? And let's keep this conversation going. So nimekaa kidogo tu nikakumbuka. You remember the 844 system? Us in primary, tukiwa wadogo, there was a method of discipline the children.
Yeah.
Na hiyo ilikuwa kuchapwa. Years later, the government said that children are not supposed to be beaten in school. So, which is the most effective way of disciplining a child, and what kind of method are you guys using right now?
As an educator, it's important, first of all, before you even think about administering discipline to a kid, understand each of your I sometimes I call them my children, because you hold them with that kind of motherly love and all that.
Yeah.
Try to understand each of your kid in class, get to know their personality, get to know more about them. If maybe you have a student by the name Aisha, get to know who is Aisha. How does Aisha love to do her things? Maybe she's that silent kid who doesn't love answering questions. And sometimes I remember in 844 as well, if you don't contribute in class, then you'd rather just walk out of the class.
Hey,
or
walk out? Whose class?
Find something better to do. During my time, actually, if you don't want to contribute, you either go out, find something else to do, or maybe if a teacher can do something to give you a question and you don't answer, give it wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Something, but you really don't know why is student X quiet. What is really happening? As a good educator, so let me just mention one quality of a good teacher. Understand your students at an individual level. These kids have things going through their minds. They are growing up. For the age that I teach, most of them are adolescents. This is a moment of confusion.
Yeah. Because
they're undergoing different changes, left, right, and center. They're learning to stay in the same room with their parents, who are now having, different opinions on how they're supposed to live and all that, educating them. Maybe they have a different way of doing it. This is the point whereby they're getting attractions to the opposite sex. This is the point whereby they're discovering, what do I want to be in future? What is my life worth? What am I supposed to do? So all this is going through their head, and they develop different personalities in that sense of confusion. I'll put that in quotes as well. So get to understand them, and before you conclude that this kid is indisciplined, figure out the main reason as to why they didn't do what you expected them to do. For example, if a kid is doesn't answer a question in class, get to know, is it because they don't understand? Just before you punish them, is it because they don't understand? Is it because they find no interest in the subject? Because maybe some of them will be like, I would not use this in my future, so why should I even work hard? Get to reason out with them. It could be something is happening somewhere, maybe at home, maybe with the friends, maybe in school. Figure out. And then once you get the real cause as to why this kid is behaving in this particular way, now you would know how to handle them. Some cases will need not punishment but counseling. They will need more of counseling, somebody to listen to them, somebody to have them talk it all out. At some point they will need additional support. Maybe they don't understand your subject, so recommend them to additional support. In the case whereby maybe they don't like the subject, now you as a teacher is like a parent, an advisor. Direct them, guide them, and tell them, yes, you may not need the subject, but it's good, at least work hard at it. You may never know, something might change in the future, and this might be your best option. So once you get to know the real causes of why students behave in different ways, before concluding that this is indiscipline, figure out what's the cause of the problem.
So what happens when now you figure out, like you've gone through the whole process, I have looked at it, it's not counseling, it's not supposed to be, it's okay, everything is okay, but now this one, we just need to give a punishment. What are the type of punishments you give?
So maybe you figure out that the kid just wants to be indisciplined
Yeah.
and all that. Maybe you've tried to talk to them and they don't listen. So in our system, we are structured in such a way that we have classrooms. Like you see that we used to have class teachers.
Yeah.
So we have form tutors. We call them form tutors, yeah? So the form tutors are in charge of a particular class. They know these kids at a different level. They know their parents, you know, and they can easily access the administration better instead of maybe you, the subject tutor. So refer them, you know, if you can't handle it past that level, refer them to the form tutor. Let the form tutor handle it in a way that they will know, do I need to involve the administrators or do I need to involve the parent? Most of the time we encourage you work with the parents to help mold the child, you know, and maybe if there's something that is making them indisciplined from home, try to maybe include the parents in helping to shape them.
That's awesome.
So having a structured system helps us to also guide the kids, and most of them actually change with time. You find that they were really rowdy and you know, up here and there when maybe they were in middle school, but once they go to upper school, because of journeying with them, and even as they're going to the next class, you talk to the form tutor from in that class and tell them, I have this kid, please guide them in this direction. And that is how they go changing slowly. It's not instant. It's a slow process.
At least you can get an opportunity to speak to them in a good way. So I think this system of yours is interesting, and the fact that it's better talking to a child and grow knowing that this is a mistake, I should not do it. So is there any other way you guys do this?
Well, mostly we just believe in guiding the child. We are not just there to teach. We're not educators. We are also people. They look at us and see, you know, a role model. They look at us and see somebody they can emulate. They look at us and see a responsible adult, you know, because we are the ones who instill these skills in them. So we're supposed to instill also, whenever they do something wrong, we have to tell them this is wrong. So we believe in advising them and leading them and not expecting instant change, because changing is a process. So you journey with them, you know, and if you realize that is the most efficient way of dealing with kids, because one, they know you listen to them, you care about how they think, you care about how they feel, they're free with you. You know, they will tell you, Miss, I don't like doing this because of this and this. They'll be like blunt with what they're saying. They won't really hide it, because they're like, if I say this, I'm going to be beaten thoroughly. You know, they will be free and talk it out. And now you will take it in as positive as you can and try. You're an adult. You know, that is why you're the adult and they're the child. So you're there to absorb it and see and use it in a smart way to mold that kid. Otherwise we'll have children teaching children. There's a reason as to why they are younger and you're older and you're experienced, and maybe the administration is trusting you to take care of them. The parents are trusting you to take care of them for the better part of the day. That
is very interesting. I think the fact that most of us, when we were young, we grew up being afraid to talk out, simply because we knew if I say this and it's not according to our teacher's perspective, I'll be beaten. If I do this, yes, I am maybe right, but because the teacher is angry at you, you'll be beaten. So that takes me back. What makes a good teacher? You know, I remember back in our days, a teacher is always right. Even though the child is right, you can be beaten because of saying that, telling a teacher a right thing. Because why are you correcting me? I am bigger than you, you're beaten. So do you think that now it's what? Okay, let's talk about the characteristics of a teacher. What are the good characteristics, and is the teacher always right?
Let me first answer the question. Is the teacher always right? Having that attitude is misleading. First, as an educator, if you have the attitude that you're always right and you can never be wrong, that's misleading. Remember, these kids that you're nurturing, are also learning at their own level, and they're gaining knowledge. Some even gain knowledge faster than you as the educator. So if you have the attitude that I am always right, even at the point of teaching in class, and a kid says something that you find, okay, this is interesting, tell me more.
Yeah.
So you listen. So a good teacher is the one who listens. But the one who thinks that he or she is always right will be like, nah, I know more than you. Keep that for now. But if you listen and you get to know, so how did you come to think about it? Where did you get the knowledge? Share with us, please. Be open-minded as the teacher. Be open to correction, even from your students. You are not always right. Yes, you're there to, you're there to be the main figure, yeah? But be open to accommodate what they offer. A good classroom setup is that takes me to the second characteristic. Yeah, a good classroom setup is where everyone discusses almost at the same level. The point of knowledge doesn't come from the teacher alone. Don't be a teacher who gives only. Be a teacher who listens and takes from the students, and be an instructor. Don't be what can I say? Don't be don't lecture. Okay, they don't need you to lecture. They need you to instruct them on what to do, and then let them do it, give you feedback, and now guide them. Now do this way, do this way, do this way. They learn best when you do that, okay? And they discover more. Learning through discovery actually helps the students more than learning through being spoon-fed. Just you give them everything and then you tell them this is going to come in the test. Now use this to do this. It's like you're training them to be robots. This world doesn't need robots. This world needs problem solvers.
Yeah. It
needs people who can think and tell you we can do this in this way because of this. We need global citizens who can acquaint themselves with what is happening around. Give us feedback of what you think about this topic, and then let the teacher now narrow it down and tell them, now this is what you need. Okay, this is how you need to maybe use the knowledge that you've gained. Be an instructor. Yeah, so that is another quality of a good teacher. A good teacher also should form a connection with the students. Feel them. Most of the times when I'm not teaching, I miss the students because I miss the connection that we form in class.
Yeah.
When you're teaching and you crack a joke and all of you are laughing because both the students and the teacher can relate, you're like, oh my God. So how did you come to think of this? You create that free environment, yeah? So they're able to give you feedback. At some point when I'm teaching, a student just raises their hand like, Miss, stop. Just stop. From this point, I got lost. So you're like, okay, let's do this again. Let's flash back. So did you understand when I say this? And this? If you get that the student won't get it from that point, then now you will know that this kid needs some more attention. So you finish teaching, give the rest a task, and then identify the ones who will need you more. Walk around in the classroom, see what they're doing. Those who need additional support, help them. Okay, but don't be a teacher who goes to class, you teach and sit down. Bring your books for marking.
Yeah.
If you don't finish the work on time, you're lazy.
Yeah.
Why can't you be like so and so? Which takes me to the fourth one. Don't compare your students. Students are different. They work at different levels. They learn in different ways. Some will understand when you teach once. Another will understand if you give more examples, maybe through videos. Another one will understand if you practically go there and work out a different example from the one that you've done with the rest. Identify what type of learners do you have. Do you have a kinesthetic learner? This is one who learns through hands-on, through touching, so by calculating and all that. We have audiovisual learners. They want to watch and listen. That's how they learn. We have one who will just understand by reading. They read and with that, there's one who doesn't love theory. There's one who loves calculations. Figure out how to help each of your students at an individual basis. Yes, so I think those, I can't mention all of them, but those are some of the key characteristics you should be having as a teacher.
I love the way you're so hands-on. Like, a good teacher should be there for the children. Not, you're a teacher, not somebody just to be there and remain.
Yes,
you have to give out the skill and also to teach them as much as possible what they need to learn. Very interesting. Anyway, so I want, now we are in a world that social media is for everyone, even the children, and sometimes even parents are wondering, there's a way that a child may come and access the phone for the mom, but the mother doesn't know where has this child gone to. So how do you guys incorporate internet and schoolwork?
Internet and schoolwork. First, we encourage them to do a lot of research. Yeah, so we encourage them to be competent when it comes to ICT. They need to know how to operate because technology is taking over.
Yeah.
So we need to also culture our students to learn what ICT has to offer, the different ways of using technology and all that. We sometimes use tablets in class. We display notes and maybe slides or play videos through a screen in class. So technology is evolving fast, so we need to also acquaint our students with what is happening around. And social media, yes, we always give them a question about social media because social media takes in everything. It accommodates everything, so we need to teach them about the things that they need to stay away from, like cyber crimes, like cyberbullying. We need to teach them on how to be friendly with others and not take part in causing maybe turmoil to another students, maybe making them less, lowering their self-esteem by what they say. We teach them to be good citizens and through the use of internet and all that. So we also put that into we caution them about that, and we also encourage them to know how to navigate their ways using internet. Maybe they have phones and laptops and all that. It's good that they learn through that. So we also use gadgets in class,
which is something that many people should actually look about when it comes to technology, because as you've said, technology is really, really becoming now the in thing, and in the future maybe everything will be technological in the future. So guys, I want us to think about this, and I hope you are learning a lot when it comes to the education system we're having, and ways also we can be able to help teachers also become better. We as parents, sometimes our parents, when we were growing up, our parents left a lot of things to the teachers. Like you used to see that you get a mom is going to work from 8 to 5 a.m. and when you're coming back home, there's no that connection with your parent because you have to sleep so that you can wake up early, and then the next day the only time you can get is maybe the weekend, and they will not know the child more as the teachers are. So it is actually also for the parents to get time to spend time with their children and also get to learn what their children love and how they really are faring when it comes to school, so that you can be able also to give the teachers an easy time when they're in school, because most of the things that the teachers are dealing with is things that are happening at home, and maybe the parents can be able to avoid. So I want us to take a small breather. We go at least to fikiria hii maneno, tujue ni nini tunafanya kama society to make our teachers better, our students better, our children better when it comes to growing, and also the education system. Ni nini tunaweza fanya to change. Remember, you can also talk to us through our social media platform, that is Younib_TV on Instagram, Younib Media TV on Facebook. Na pia tunaweza interact kwa YouTube, by the way, because we have a channel in the YouTube. So kama hujaiona mahali, go right there and subscribe, alafu anza kucomment hapo telling us about the type of education system you prefer and also what you think when it comes to the system we have here in Kenya. So don't touch that dial, we'll be back with more.
best. Hallelujah. Ever the best. Hallelujah. Ever the best. Hallelujah.
Welcome back. This is the Younib Breakfast Show, and today we are getting to know more about the education system as a whole. Tumeongea kuhusu CBC, tukaongea kuhusu the 844 system, and we have gotten even to learn about the international system. So if you're just joining us, haujachelewa sana, lakini umechelewa. But hujachelewa sana. You can still get some little wisdom when it comes to the education system. So sahi nataka tuende now to leadership. You know, tukiwa back in school, mimi sijui kama ni shule yetu peke yetu ama ilikuanga ya kila mtu, but in some way our teachers would always choose leaders. See, watoto wana choose leaders, and I'm seeing that this is really evolving when time is changing now, that even the teachers now are giving people opportunity. So how do children in the international system choose their leaders? How do they go about it?
Actually, we try as much as possible as teachers to stay out of it. We believe that should remain in the students' domain. They're the ones who know themselves. They know who they want to lead them. So we allow them to vote. Okay, we allow them to vote and choose their leaders, maybe the class representatives, the year group representative. We allow them to go around and campaign for the ones who want to maybe take up leadership positions and all that. They can go around laying around their manifestos, what they're going to do. They ask the students, what do you think we're supposed to do? So it's entirely on the students. Okay, even for the head of the school, the student head, they go around and they have to tell the other students why should it be them. So the teachers really have no much play when it comes to choosing the leaders. We even go to an extra mile to invite an external body, just for them to feel it should be fair. So, and it should be on neutral grounds. We invite an external body, an electoral body, to come and foresee the elections and for them to give us results. You know, so we try to make them feel as though it should be. We actually not make them feel. We make them see that it should be democratic, and it's upon them to choose who they want to as the leaders. Yeah,
I think that also is important, because when we see even our country itself, we tend to be democratic. Hey, English Leo, but anyway, so we tend to be democratic, and by actually showing them that it is important to practice this, it's good for them, so that when it's in the future, they know now, how can I choose a good leader? Yeah. Most recently, our Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Rigiji, said that most universities are becoming irrelevant due to poor academic programs that don't speak to jobs, to the new job things that are happening right now. So what is your take when it comes to that?
Well, I wouldn't really call them poor academic programs. We just lack to fill the gap of how these programs relate to the real life situation. Talk of agriculture, we do have agricultural courses in our university. Talk about the teaching profession, we do have education. Talk about the law system, we have the faculty of law. Talk about doctors, we have medicine. Talk about any profession. We just lack to show our students how to relate whatever they learn in class with what is outside. You know, we have various students maybe who have done business administration, and then they would go back to do MBA, masters in business administration. Some would even proceed to do a PhD, because when they go outside to the job market, they now see how it applies, and then now they go back for extra knowledge. When I was in campus, I had a friend in the faculty of business. You know, he had actually started a business, so he was coming to school to get the skills on how to manage his business. You know, so he had found that gap on how to connect what he's doing outside there with what he can gain in school. So when the lecturers are teaching, they should show these students how this knowledge is going to help them outside. For example, if you're doing computer science, your lecturer should be in a position to show you different programming systems. How do people use programming outside there, maybe to earn money and all that. So that also gives a challenge to our lecturers in campus. They need to get all that and bring it to the students. It's the whole point of being a teacher. Being a teacher is a task, because you're entrusted with the children's future in your hands. So you have to take it seriously. It's just like a doctor. Somebody's life is in your hands. So you have to be serious with what you do. The teacher has to act as, you know, how can I say this? It's like a vacuum, So, or maybe let's say, your role is to gather up all you can in your capacity, in your specialization, and then bring what is relevant to the students. Maybe you're a science teacher, and maybe you can see that your kid is good in things to do with research. Go outside there, figure out the different scientific projects that have been done. Come to this student, suggest, by the way, I've seen that you're good in research. Do you think you can do this? And this research project has this application. There's a research project that I did when I was in campus. It was to do with a compound, scandium trifluoride, and how this compound can be used to can be modified to make materials that are we call them zero thermal expansion materials, materials that don't expand upon heating. You know, and scandium trifluoride is a component that has been used in the material used to fill our teeth. You know, when you go to the dentist, when you say that you've gone through a filling procedure, they insert something in a cavity that prevents sensitivity. You know, so that material can be used to modify other things like the construction materials to build walls that would be able to withstand high or intense heating, and they won't crack. Okay, and they will be sustainable. So you can suggest that and see what they can do. They might actually solve the puzzle. Go outside there, sell the project, and become a great researcher. That is what our world needs. Teach the students how to connect what you teach them with what is outside. Once they figure out that connection, then it will stop being irrelevant. They'll figure out their means. We need to teach them on how to discover. Okay, so play your part as an instructor, teach them about discovery, and they'll figure out things that you never even thought. You yourself as the lecturer, as teacher, could discover on your own. The kids can do it. Just give them the chance, give them the platform. Yeah.
So what I'm getting is our universities or the education that we are getting from university is not the problem. It is how the delivery now.
The delivery and how we guide the students. You know, we've made them believe that it's all about doing a module, sitting for exam, making a transcript. So the only relevance they see is getting good papers, and then they come out of campus and start looking for jobs using those papers.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need the papers. We need to see beyond the papers. Some graduate with first class honors. They're smart.
Yeah.
They're really smart. It's only that we fail to show them how they can use that smartness to maneuver. All they need is, I see this world as a maze with different directions, and at the end we have different points at which you can come out. So you need to teach these students on how to use the different directions, because they won't all use one direction. But at the end of the day, they need to solve that maze. At the end of the day, they need to be on the other side. So show them how to maneuver through that maze. Okay, don't just tell them what is in the maze. That is what we do. We tell them that this is the maze, that is what is there, this is what. So they do that, they learn. Maybe you give them the what can I say, you give them a whole lot of notes for them to read and then sit the exam, but you've not really told them how to get out of that maze. And that is why they get stuck, because they finish campus still in the maze. They don't know how to maneuver. So teach them how to maneuver before they come out of campus. Let them be on the other side by the time they're coming out of campus. Then they will remember how they solved the maze, and that is what they're going to use to solve other problems outside.
So if you're a lecturer out there, a teacher out there, please, let's not just concentrate on what the books are saying, but rather we make sure that we can be able to teach our students, our children, also the best way they can maneuver life. And that, I think, that is how a good teacher will have made the true connection, or make his or her work great. It's through teaching the right way. So right now I'm going to a segment that I love, something that I love doing. So we started this if you already watched our last episode, you saw that tulikuwa na quick fire questions, but today I want to make things different. I have tongue twisters here. Let me tell you guys, our guest doesn't know the type of tongue twisters tunampea. So what I want us now to do is, I'll give you tongue twisters. There are 3 of them. So I'm giving you 3 seconds to read the first one just by yourself and try to internalize it, and then afterwards you say it 3 times. You know, tongue twisters zinakuanga very interesting if you say them 3 times. So yes, here are the tongue twisters.
First one, yeah?
Yeah. Before she does that, also I urge you at home, you can also join in. Take videos of yourself doing the tongue twisters, and we will definitely post them on our social media platform. We are waiting. Haya, 1, 2, 3, go. Number 1.
I saw Susie sitting in a shoeshine shop. I saw Susie sitting in a
shoeshine shop.
In a shoeshine shop. I saw Susie sitting in a shoeshine shop.
Okay.
Oh my.
And number 2.
The second one. Oh God.
1, 2, go.
How can a cow? Okay, all right. One more second.
Okay.
How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? Oh God, where did you get this? How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? Oh God, can.
Okay, the last one.
Move that. He threw 3 free throws. Okay, he threw 3 free throws. He threw 3 free throws. And the last one was fair.
It was fair. So guys at home, I hope they will be here. So when she's doing it, like, or rather, you can take yourself a video doing the same tongue twisters, and we see who is better than who. Sindio, I will even try them one day. See leo though. Next time. So do you homeschool students, like you giving out, are you an homeschooler, like the instructor?
Yeah, definitely I do. considering my subjects, math and chemistry, most students need help, especially in mathematics. It's more of additional support, yeah, because they go to school, like they learn in the mainstream, but maybe after classes or maybe during the holidays, they need some extra support. So you just go through them what they have learned, and for the candidate classes, yeah, you prepare them with what they're supposed to expect in the exam, because as a teacher, you know the papers that they're going to sit for, you know the content that comes most of the time. You can easily lay a prediction on what frequently comes, or how they're going to twist questions, and we have various sites that help us with that. So I give additional support as a form of homeschooling. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for gracing our show. I think we have been able to learn a lot when it comes to the education system. Some of us maybe at home never knew that there's education that can be impactful, because some people say that they will not take their children to school because maybe they don't know the right place to take their children, and I think this is an eye-opener to parents, to also we youths who are considering some years to come to be parents, so we know exactly now how we can be able to help our students, or our children, or rather to be able to become better people in the society. So thank you so much for the eye-opener.
If only I can say the last words as well. Let us not lose hope in education. Education still remains to be the key. We just need to be told where to unlock. Okay, and CBC, when well, cultured into our kids and maybe well nurtured, it's going to be fruitful. So you may not really be in the international system, you may not be in an international school, but the government is providing an eye-opener. It's giving us, let me call it, a second chance to see education in a different way, and it's working for these younger kids. It's really working, and most of them are looking forward to go to school and do those activities with the teachers. So let's maintain a positive attitude, and we're going to see a brighter future together. Positive attitude is key. Very key.
Very key. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed the show, and remember, if you feel like you have more to talk about this topic, just indulge us through our comments. Kuna ya YouTube, kuna our social media platforms. There is a number on your screen, that is 0719-144-144. We can continue with this conversation, because I know it's a wide topic and it needs to be talked to about, so that people can see the importance of education. I think we have forgotten that education is key. Because of most of us, when we're in school, tumekuwa tu tukionyesha maneno hadi unasema, why is it even important for somebody to go to school? So it is important, and it is really important. Yani, ni very important. Full stop. So sadly, we have come to the end of the show, and I hope you guys enjoyed a lot the show today. Remember, you can be able to talk to us, advertise with us here at Younib TV through the number on your screen. I will repeat the number, I'm not tired. 0719-144-144. Let's keep conversation, and don't forget to also share and tell a friend about the Younib TV. We will so much appreciate it. So until next time, from me and my guests, we want to say goodbye. Have an amazing day ahead.